Okay, Shanee. So this is your mid-term feedback. So currently we should have 4 pieces of work on there. So if we start from the most recent and work our way backwards. So indie music conventions. We've got an introduction there. Okay, so this is the particular thing. So this is good. So we've gone through the stuff that's in there. Okay, very good. So it's quite a detailed analysis. Um, okay, so that's due today though, isn't it? Yeah. So you're running a bit late on that one. Um, editing techniques match the pace. So here you'd want to be using words like rhythmic editing, yeah, or rhythmic montage, tonal montage, that kind of stuff, because you learned that last year in editing. They're the technical words you need to be using, yeah. Okay. Is there any lip syncing in it? No. Okay. So if it's matching the pace of the music, you need to be showing me how that works, okay, and why that is. Because at the minute, that's a very low-level pass. It's just a descriptive thing of yeah. You need more in there. Um, and camera work isn't complete. Okay. So the concern that I've got is this is very detailed about that one video, but I still don't know what the conventions are of indie videos. All I know is what's in this one video that you've looked at. Um, Representational symbolic narrative as I have more for it. That's good. That's the merit. But the problem is there's no evidence from either of these videos that that's the case. Yeah. So your examples are a bit limited. Now, what I would say is you're going too much into one video. What you've said is kind of true, but I think you need to kind of look at providing the examples of this kind of stuff. Okay. Ironically, one thing I'm trying to tell you here is that actually I don't want you to write more. I want the specificness to be more, yeah? Because these reports should be they should be just literally quite brief, like 100 words per example. In here you can see this, this, and this. In here you can see this, this, and this, and this, alright? Yeah, I don't want you writing like 1,000 words for each thing. I just want them to be kind of short reports, but I want the detail to be quite specific in them, yeah? And I think the stuff here that's unspecific, yeah, so you need to zone in more on what you're looking at. So I want a comparison between what I see in that one and what I see in that one and what I see in that one. Now you've got some good stuff in there already where you're talking about tends to be symbolic as it has more freedom to experiment with. That's a merit. If you're going to give me a distinction, I need to know why that is. Now that relates to that second task, 1B. If you know how an indie label promotes their artists and uses videos differently to a major label, then you'd be able to explain why that is. Does that make sense? So it's a case of, is this been informed by a previous report and piece of homework or not? Okay? So that's the first one. Second one, we're looking at the image, so purpose of music videos. So we should have 13 categories on here with examples, yeah? Now, with these examples, you can use examples from your previous homework and prep work tasks. So I think one of the prep works for this was analyze the image of an artist. That would kind of work on that bottom one there. So let's have a quick look through. Yep. So again, here you could mention the fact that selling an image is really important to major artists differently than it is to, say, self-produced artists, yeah? Okay. Okay, good. Okay, that's good. So you give me some specifics. Very good. Okay, now when you're talking about opening up a new market, what was it about Britney Spears' videos that opened up a new market? So who was the new market that weren't listening to Britney Spears before the Toxic video came out? So that's what you'll need to think about. You know, if you're talking about opening up a new market, if you're talking about the music video being more visual, then you'd need to be using an example where Britney had an image change, because that then opens up a new market. Little schoolgirl Britney is a little schoolgirl Poppy Girls, isn't it? Now, if she suddenly does something very different to that in a music video, like a more adult and sexier image, then you've opened up a new market, and that's what that means. So, is the Toxic video in that way? Is it quite an adult video? Great. So that's what you'd need to make that make sense as a proper example. You'd need to say this is where she went for an adult image to reach a new market. Yep. So it's just little tweaks on this, I think. Did you guys do this as a group or an individual one? Individual. Okay. So again, in Skyfall, you need to be aware of what it is about the video for Skyfall that is creating synergy to the James Bond film. You also really need to look at what the relationship is between the company that make James Bond and the record label that have signed Adele, because the idea of synergy is that all of that is kept in the same company. So for this to be true synergy, it should be that you've got Adele signed to the same parent company that made Skyfall. Does that make sense? So you might need to just look into that a little bit more. Good. What's the feature? The name of the album. Yep, good. Okay, now again, what is going on in this video that is promoting this album or this music? This that's promoting this album differently. What's she doing differently in this video to what she did on the previous album? Okay, it's just because you said it's became known as the face of the album and attracted people to the other songs on the album. So it's just to be aware that what you've written here is right, but again, you might just want to think about how the video accomplishes this. So through a lot of use of close-ups on her would be one example. So what I'm trying to say to you is your specific examples that's holding you off the distinction at the minute. It's kind of like a general intro, this. Do you see what I mean? And I know it's because there's a lot of categories to cover, but that's the idea of you guys doing it as a group. Yeah? It's because then you can focus on a specific thing each and get more detail, and then you can go over what your classmates have done and add your own bits in to bump it up a little bit more. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. This looks good. You've got the Ray-Bans in there, very good. So you've got that, that's good. Better understanding of the song. Okay, the only problem is if you're going to talk about it gives the audience a better understanding of the song, you would need to tell me what Man in the Mirror is all about. Otherwise, you haven't answered the question. Because that video should go, oh, that's what the lyrics are about. The problem is you haven't told me what the lyrics are about in this video. Yeah, you've just told me it's an abstract narrative. So again, it's descriptive. It's kind of, I mean, what you've written is true, but you've not shown me it. Do you see what I mean? So again, the examples need bringing up. Now remember, you don't have to make these changes straight away. This is your one round of feedback. When I set the assignment, that's when you can make these changes and improve it. That's why I'm recording this, so you can listen to it again. Okay. Okay, so this is all. Yeah. Again, I think for that one, you'd need the examples to be put in here now. Yeah. All right. So make sure you got an example for each thing you're talking about. Okay, so that's that done. Well done. It's laid out quite nicely. You got your headings in there. Good. Okay, let's move on to the next task. Okay, so major label. Yep. Good. That's true. Very good. Yep. Yep, very good. So this is all true what you've written, but again, talk me more through the example, because none of this relates to, you know, this music video. So where is the product placement in this music video? Yeah. So again, you're on a merit, but you haven't given me the specific bits in this video that are showing me this, because what this should be is this is an example, a typical example of a major label promoting their artists. So you can see in this video they've done this, but this last bit, although what you've written is true, it's very generalized and it's not applied. Now for the merit and above, you need to apply it to the video. Does that make sense? Okay. Okay, independent music videos. Good, so the report is good, what you've written is true. What's the biggest difference? Yep. Good, less money, yep, that's the main thing. Strategy. I mean, one of the strategies is their image would be probably less sexualized. Yeah. They'd be more specific to the audience they're trying to target, so they'd be trying to relate to their audience because they've got a smaller audience to go for. So an indie label would, for example, just have rock fans or dance fans. Does that make sense? Yeah. So their videos would be far more specific in terms of the image they're creating. You wouldn't have Miley Cyrus swinging on a hammer, on a giant ball naked, licking a hammer. You wouldn't go for that sort of sexualized mainstream appeal. You go for something far more kind of like what speaks to their audience. Yeah. Okay. So try and get that in there if you can. And again, same thing I said to you last time. Apply it to the example. Don't just embed the video and go, that covers that. Yeah. So we need to get that applied. And self-produced, good. You've talked about the budget, you've talked about the low views, very good. You've talked about the fact they get the money, they've used social media, okay, good. Okay, that's interesting, getting the music on video games, very good. So again, what I do in here is I'd go through and say, you can see this is shot in a kind of location, it actually looks quite expensive, but it's actually quite low budget. You could talk about their creative freedom. They're not so bothered about focusing on themselves generally. They're more focused on trying to bring their music to life. Yeah, it's more about the music than it is about them trying to become rock stars or hip hop stars. Yeah. Okay. So good. There's a few bits there, and then your timeline. Good. So you've divided it up, haven't you? So that's fine. So you've got the why is it recognisable? What was going on? That's good. Yep. Excellent. Have you read through what the other people in your group have written?
The other people in my group, but I haven't gone around the class.
Okay, so you'll just need to finish that off. Now that's literally just cutting and pasting, but make sure you see the detail that you've put in here. That's yours, isn't it?
Yeah.
So if you look at the detail that's gone in that one, not everyone in the room is going to have gone in that detail. So that's why what I want you to do is just make sure that you can, just make sure that the quality of the work you're getting from the rest, you might want to sort of just bump it up a little bit. Okay, just to make sure you get that distinction, because obviously we want it to be detailed for you. Yeah. Okay, so that's pretty good. So out of 4 that we've done, we've just got to finish this one off. Okay, so get that done by the end of the week, and it looks like you've done all 4. So yeah. So how many hours homework are you doing a week?
Maybe about 3 around that.
Okay, that's good. Well, that's why you're able to produce work that's of a merit standard currently, that's giving you a solid foundation to move it into distinction when I set the assignment. Yeah, very well done. Excellent work.